Rabbit's feet, black cats, eyelash wishes. These superstitions have been woven into our lives for centuries. But do you know where these strange beliefs actually came from? From ancient Egyptian rituals to medieval witch trials, we're about to uncover some weird history. In today's video, we're diving into the bizarre origins behind 13 of the most popular superstitions. A broken mirror gives you 7 years of bad luck. The ancient Romans believed our lives renewed every 7 years, just like the moon cycles. And since your reflection was basically your magical twin, a broken mirror was bad news. It meant the next 7 years of your health were toast. Victorians took it even further, thinking mirrors could trap babies' souls and stunt their growth. Scary stuff. Even today, some Jewish families cover mirrors after a death, worried the departed soul might get lost in the reflection on its way to the great beyond. Knock on wood to prevent disappointment. This superstition has been around for ages, all thanks to the ancient belief that trees were sacred homes for God and spirits. From Chaldea to Sumatra, people would literally lay hands on tree trunks to ask for favors. But there was a spooky side too. Some thought evil spirits lurked in the wood, and knocking would shake them out like a bug on a blanket. And let's not forget the crucifixion of Jesus. Many Christians today still rub a wooden cross to seek protection or do penance. But really, what about when you're knocking on your neighbor's wooden door in the middle of the night? That's probably not going to end well for you, is it? Walking under a leaning ladder means bad luck. Yes, even such a simple act is a big no-no when it comes to superstitions. The ancient Egyptians thought ladders against walls created a sacred triangle, and messing with that spiritual energy was bad news. Early Christians avoided the underside too. They thought the devil was lurking down there. And in some Asian cultures, prisoners were even hung from the top of ladders, and people weren't allowed to walk beneath in case they encountered the victim's ghost. In France, convicts had to take that final unlucky stroll under the gallows ladder. Yikes! Maybe the guys were like, let's force some final bad luck onto you felons. When you spill salt, toss some over your left shoulder to avoid bad luck. For ages, salt has been steeped in magic and superstition. In ancient times, it was used to preserve food and mummies, so it was seen as connected to immortality. And in the Middle Ages, folks would leave lines of salt outside their doors to keep witches out. They'd have to count every single grain before entering. But the real bad luck comes from spilling the salt. Remember that famous painting of the Last Supper, where Judas knocks over the salt? Total omen of his betrayal. I mean, come on, since when does a little spilled sodium chloride mean the universe is going to conspire against you? It's bad luck to open an umbrella indoors. That's right, many believe opening one of those guns indoors is just asking for trouble. The roots of this superstition actually go back to ancient Egypt, where pharaohs' fancy sun-blocking parasols had some wild superstitions attached, like it'd prevent God's blessing from hitting the home. But the modern version is all about those clunky 18th century London umbrellas. See, the metal spokes of those first-generation umbrellas would spring open with a vengeance in small rooms, risking injury to people or smashing fragile objects. Even a minor mishap could spark some serious bad juju between friends and family. So the superstition took hold as a way to keep people from unleashing the umbrella beast indoors. A 4-leaf clover is your lucky charm. Yup, finding a 4-leaf clover is like winning the botanical lottery to many. The chances are only 1 in 10,000, but the origins of this superstition go way back. In ancient Celtic times, people thought these rare clovers could ward off evil triads. And in the Middle Ages, folks believed having one let you see magical spirits. But let's be real, aren't those tiny leafy things only as good as munchy insect snacks? Hang a horseshoe on your door, open end up for good luck. The ancient Greeks were the first to get in on the horseshoe hype, and they had some pretty cool reasons. To them, the U-shape was all about the sacred crescent moon, a symbol of fertility, new beginnings, and pure good luck. Cultures all over the world, from Egypt to India, got in on the lunar love, incorporating the crescent into art, architecture, and even their gods. Then, when the plague hit medieval Europe, hanging horseshoes outside was thought to ward off disease, and the tradition stuck. Nowadays, you'll find golden horseshoes adorning homes and businesses everywhere. Wishing on eyelashes comes true. What? Wish upon an eyelash? Yup, it's a thing. We can credit our friends across the pond in 18th century Britain and Ireland for this quirky superstition. The locals had a whole ritual for it. If an eyelash fell out, you'd put it on the back of your hand, make a wish, and toss it over your shoulder. If it flew off, your wish was golden. The Cornish schoolgirls had their own version too. They'd put the eyelash on their nose or hand and try to blow it off. If it flew, their wish was as good as granted. Oh, I sure can see a lot of you guys as billionaires if things really worked that way. Rabbit's foot brings good luck. Superstitious gamblers and thrill seekers have been swearing by this lucky charm for ages. Ancient cultures, from the Aztecs to the Chinese, saw rabbits as cunning, resilient symbols with all kinds of magical powers. In German and Scottish folklore, The hair could even cast an evil eye on people. The antidote? Getting your hands on one of their hind feet. The rabbit's foot craze really took off in the 19th century through African-American hoodoo magic. And you bet plenty of actors that notoriously superstitious bunch kept one in their makeup kits. They even used to apply makeup with rabbits' feet back in the day. How gross. It's definitely not how I'd want good luck to follow me. Waking on the wrong side of the bed has bad consequences. That's right. In the world of superstition, there's a pretty clear right and wrong way to start your day. Ancient Egyptians thought the left side was all about death and destruction, so getting out that way was bad news. Even today, some hotels and casinos arrange rooms, so the left side is facing the wall. Gotta keep the luck on your side, am I right? And Europeans have a whole custom about exiting your bed the same way you got in. Otherwise, you're messing with the cosmic sleep cycle until the next night. Well, I bet a lot of you guys love to sleep on that wrong side of the bed with your arms and legs sprawled across, and rest assured, that's completely fine. Always wear black while mourning. Death and darkness, huh? Turns out mourning clothes have a pretty wild history. In ancient cultures from China to Persia, they thought death was downright contagious, so mourners would wear black to warn folks to steer clear. The Romans were big on this too. They wanted everyone to know to keep their distance. Some people even believed you should give away all your colored clothes while grieving, to speed up the process. But be careful. If you wear those mourning duds for more than 2 years, they say a new tragedy is on the way. And in Europe, they had a rule about not accepting any gifts during that time. Oh, and your mourning gloves better be cotton. Otherwise, your whole household could wind up 6 feet under. A black cat crossing your path is unlucky. Well, the story behind this superstition goes back to the glory days of ancient Egypt. The Egyptians absolutely adored cats, seeing them as sacred to God. Plus, those feline friends were great at keeping pesky rats and mice out of the grain. But things took a dark turn during Europe's big witch craze between the 11th and 14th centuries. Cats were overrunning the continent and were seen as total pests. And single, elderly women, prime witch targets, were often cat owners. So the legend spread that cats were the witches' familiars. As for black cats, there's an old English tale that Satan himself was tossed into a blackberry bush, giving black that whole embodiment of evil vibe. What a way to ruin those adorable animals' cuteness. The number 13 always brings bad luck. Was Apollo 13 cursed by its flight number? Should you avoid the 13th floor of a building? Do you need to watch your step on Friday the 13th? Fear of the number 13 is one of humanity's most enduring superstitions. Perhaps the earliest known origin of this superstition comes from ancient India, where it was considered unlucky for 13 people to sit together. And of course, there's the infamous Last Supper story, where Judas Iscariot, the traitor apostle, was the 13th to join Jesus. That's how Friday the 13th got its rep as an unlucky day. It marked the mass execution of the Knights Templar back in 1307. These days, you'll find plenty of hotels that skip the 13th floor entirely, just to be safe. But guys, I bet even though this video ends with the number 13, you won't have to worry about any bad luck coming your way. So let us know in the comments which of these superstition origins surprised you the most. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Also, press the bell icon for instant notifications so that you never miss a video from Factastic Trivia.